Welcome to the School of Wordcraft and Worldmancy. This is Feedback Frenzy.
Hello, I'm WriterGreg, and welcome to a Feedback Frenzy here at the School of Worldcraft and Worldmancy. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Today, we are going to have a new and unique type of critique. This is going to be a world-building map submitted to us by Captain Barbarossa Sparklebeard. Ahoy, Captain. All right, so this is going to be kind of different. There's no
Sprinters and
language to
marchers,
critique.
go.
It's just going to be really interesting. So this is what it looked like when I started. So let's just go ahead and, all right, zoom. Okay, zoom out. Nice. Okay, so I keep, okay. This, all right, let me zoom in here. Arr, army mateys. Okay, so, all right, let's look at it. First of all, it has the monochromatic scale, pseudo monochromatic. The water is slightly blue, but you have the charcoal. You have it, so it looks very much like a fantasy map, and I like how it looks because you're just using you have some good image in the background. You have the definite forests here. So, Barbarossa, what application did you use to make this map? Or was this hand-drawn? Wonder Draft. All right, so we got Wonder Draft. Let's take a look at the legend. Settlement, major settlement, capital, road, major path, and bridge. All right, so Lupin River. Known for hunting potential. Oh, it's Lupin, not Lapin, sorry. Village, Howling River. All right, so let's just go through this and look at some of the different things. Hamlet of Bray Hill, Hook River, City, Hamlet of Dalbreck, City, Village, Fay River. This is just another lake, Hamlet Lake. Okay. So it's looking pretty straightforward as far as the labels so far. Ooh, let's zoom into, oh, okay, that looks nice. You have a nice river delta. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the believability of this map. Okay, first of all, this is a small scale map, meaning it's a region, it's not a giant, it's not a country, well, it may be a country, but it's small enough where you can get to the level of having paths. Here we have the representation of the mountains, and then we have representation of the foothills. Very nice. Then we have the forests. It does look like there's a pretty clean demarcation between the forest and the foothills. It is possible to have a forest on a foothill. Okay. Having said that, okay, you do, so, okay, this is a lake. So it's not the ocean. I wonder why the foothills have no trees. It could be above the tree line, but meaning the altitude is so far high that there's no trees here. I don't know if I'm overly nitpicking. So it looks good. I do like how you have the mountains across the top and you have the mountains here. They're more angular where they meet. I like that because that's more tectonically feasible as opposed to having a circle of mountains. The only real way you could have a circle of mountains is either a resultant of a meteor strike in the middle of a mountain range, or if it was a volcano, like an uber volcano, and you've settled the caldera, which sounds nuts to me, and then the mouth or the rim of it is then weathered into different mountains. So I like that you have this nice triangle shape of a valley, and especially as it leads to the lake down here. So that's good. Let's check out the rivers. Okay, the rivers look like they're all flowing down. Okay, that is good. And interesting, you have these ridges here. Okay, see, that's interesting. Now, that is a good possibility of the reason why trees haven't grown up there is because their seedlings can't get up there. If those ridges are high enough, the natural ability for trees and forests to regenerate themselves may not reach up there. So I do like that. We have a rivers that start here. Okay. We have a lake of the moon. Okay. We have a bridge. And we have a waterfall. Okay, and looking down deep in here, I see a hexagonal grid. What is the scale? Is that a mile? Okay. Okay, 10 miles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One hex is 1 mile. Okay, then your grid is off. Your scale here is off because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so you may need to make this a little wider. Let's see. Yeah, you'll need to make this scale a little bit wider so that it actually matches the hex. Okay, now knowing that, many things could have happened on export or something like that. The WonderDraft scaling tool says 1 mile. Okay, well the scale I'm not familiar with WonderDraft. Have not used it myself, so not sure. Okay, so all right, so this, having said that, this does make, okay, I got to remember this is not a literal topographical satellite image. Okay, so we got to remember that this is just representation of the things, because these cities here may or may not. You have them, a dot. The dots are pretty centered in a grid, so one would think that they are roughly a mile wide. And of course, this river is a would this river be a third of a mile wide? Don't think so, but you have to have the representation. But here, the moon, so that moon, Lake of the Moon, that could be, I mean, do you know how big a mile wide lake is? Maps, Google, Bear Lake. No, I don't. Wow, definitely do not want this. Okay, just do maps. Yeah, Bear Lake is pretty big. I just want to see, as far as reference, I didn't want to use the Great Salt Lake because that's just ridiculous in size. Okay, well, like Manaway here. Where's its scale? Do we have a measuring tool here? Timeline, no, no, no. Language, no. Edit the map, no. Okay, if that's 2,000 feet, 500 meters, 2,000 feet, that, let's just kind of put it down here. Well, 2,000 feet is half of a mile. Okay, so that's about... Okay. Okay. I'm okay. I'm just looking at some lakes that I'm familiar with. Okay, a half mile wide. So a 2 mile wide. Oh, here, the zoom is now 1 mile. Okay, here. One,
Sprinters break,
two,
marchers continue.
3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. Just calibrating my brain. So this, I mean, that's a decent sized lake, but this one down here would be, here it is 1 to 3.5 miles wide. Okay, that is, those are big lakes. Okay, we have some waterfalls here. Nice. Nice river, the roads going along. The delta, I really like the delta that you have here. And I really like how you're correctly directing all of your rivers. Your rivers are all in the correct direction. Ooh, the ritual stones. Old hedge stones resting atop of a large hill. Okay, and this is where your map scales can get weird because each of these stone hedges, these stones are not a mile tall, so, and not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's not 7 miles wide. And so my over analytical brain thinks of that maybe this should be a little bit smaller. You could surround it here with, if you want to emphasize it, that it's a bald mountain or on a bald hill without trees, you could maybe put some of these foothills around it. But yeah, that just seems a little too big if 1 hex is 1 mile. Now let's think about how far can a human travel. Let's think of if D&D rules, and you guys will all need to help me with this one, with the D&D rules. What is typical overland travel in D&D in one day? Okay, D&D travel on road per day. Maybe that'll help me out. Fast per day, 30 miles. Okay, fast, normal, 18. Slow. Okay, so what I would then, with this, how far can D&D 5e travel in a day? Yeah. Riding fast, normal is 24, slow is 18. Okay, so given that, and I'm presuming this is more of an RPG map, I don't think that any city should be farther than between 18 to 20 miles apart, or in this case, hexes apart, because it would be very common for people to establish a way station every day's travel so that then they can at least have a place to stay. That's not always the case, but it may be. So from this large city, let's just go up the route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4. uh, 15, 16. Okay, so this distance that you have here between this, seriously, this tooltip is annoying me. Okay, between this town and this city, that is a good distance. And then 24 miles in over 8 hours. Okay. So I'm liking this as far as your spaces between the different things. Uh, yeah, here's a 2-day travel that you typically done by boat. This one looks a little bit longer, but it's along a lake, so there's probably uh, fishing huts or things smaller than a village along here for a private farmer, a private fisherman who's just set up shop along the lake. Uh, Rivers would allow something to be longer because there's
Only
probably
10 minutes
barges
left,
going up
everyone.
and down.
Let's squeeze out the words.
Why is there not a bridge here? Okay, it is a hamlet. And people who are traveling up the river, they would water travel. Is that okay? What about water travel? Okay, rowboat, sailing ship, warship, galley. Oh wow, this is some really good stuff. Uh, okay, so even by rowboat, or what's a keelboat? Okay, keelboat. Even with a keelboat of being 24 miles a day, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Especially if you're traveling downstream, you'd probably get a little faster. If you're going upstream, you just have to see with that. But yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if I can apply my regular thought process to this as I would a fictional article. What is awesome about it? It looks very visually appealing. This is very nice to look at as it is functional. The um, the colors are good. There's variety. There's a good use of the subtle blue, the red for the roads, the you correct usage of rivers. I think that was well done. Board, no. Uh, I mean, the hamlet doesn't have a bridge, but it's barred. The dive stone offers bridge boat crossing. Okay, perfect. I don't know how much of a delay I got here. Oh, we got maybe a 8-second. Okay. Um, not there's nothing really there's nothing boring that I would say. There's not a lot. This hasn't been filled out. We have hamlets, city, city. There's not a lot about that. I wouldn't call that boring visually speaking, but that could definitely be expanded on. Confused. You have a good key here, good use of bridges. The confusion about the miles, you can work with WonderDraft on that. The size of the Ritual of Stones may be too large because you have whole cities here as just represented as a dot, where you have this as a picture. I like the picture, but is it too big? Or does it not matter because the cartographer just put it there because it's somewhere in that area and no one wants to go find out the exact plotted location of that? I'm not sure. Delete? No. So I kind of put the picture there as it's in the region, but it's somewhere. There you go. Okay. That and Again, I'm being very nitpicky on that part. Okay, I guess Google Maps satellite images have spoiled me greatly. Delete? No, I wouldn't delete anything. Expand. It would be cool to have some names here as you fill out here. The hovers are really nice, but sometimes they were getting in the way. The adding of articles to each of these could be really interesting. Yeah, I think this is very well done. A very well done, nice looking map for a small scale RPG adventure. Yeah, that's very nice. All right. Not sure where to go from here. So thank you so much, Barbarossa Sparklebeard, for sharing this map with us and taking a look at it, showing off the wonderful skills developing with WonderDraft, the software used to create this. Well done. This is a really solid map, and I hope that you have a great time with using it in your adventures. So thank you so much. If for anyone who is here or would like to have their content critiqued, you can visit wgc.bz/submit, and you can submit your content as well. May I get one opinion from you? Oh, definitely. Let's put this back on. We're not done. Would you call this one forest or multiple forests? That is an excellent, excellent question. Dazzlecat says one forest. My initial response is yes, I would agree with that. However, you maybe two for the other side of the bay. That was exactly what I was thinking about. The rivers might split the forest. So you'd have one over here, you'd have a second one here, maybe a third one up across the top, and a fourth one over here. You would have, like, this could be the ritual forest. I don't know. This could be the, yeah. You could have it call it the forests of Dorsill, plural forests, when you wanted to refer to everything, but then you could say the western forest, the northern forests, the eastern forests, and the central forest for that. So yeah, so you could call it. 4 would be too many in one area of that side. That's a possibility, but if you were looking at this, you could say, too many. If they were named forests, I could see how that would be too many. But if you're talking about, my hamlet is in the northern forests of Dorsill, in the northern forest of Dorsill. Mine's in the western forest of Dorsill. Because rivers naturally run through forests without cutting them into pieces. I agree. But it would also depend on the size of the rivers. It would depend on the people. Okay, if this is all in one kingdom under one governmental jurisdiction, yeah, I would go for a lot fewer numbers. But if The people in Falkirk don't like the people in... Come on, hide that. Don't like the people in Howlbeck, then they could call their forest different names. If there is a cross-lake rivalry, saying, the Falkirk forests, the Howlbeck forests, it just, how much unity is there in with the people? If the people are unified and they get along, the more similar or fewer names there would be. The more antagonism is between, I think that they would definitely have more.
Sprinters and marchers. Time is up.
Especially if some of these cities or some of these portions of the forest are under different jurisdiction. Unless each forest part is a designated domain of a ruler and each ruler controls each one. Exactly. I have 5 noble houses here. You have 5 forests. I think it has to be as simple as that. Yes. Generally it's the Dorsillian woods. Like foreigners or people who are not familiar with this land would definitely call it the Dorsillian woods. But the locals would definitely call it a forest after the name of the house that owns it. Yeah. And see, this is where we get into the world building and communicating world building through maps. Is now you could have an overlay of some kind on this. Oh, you can turn off the town's geographic locations. Oh, okay. Key buildings. Okay. You could have a layer here through World Anvil that shows, okay, this is how the 5 houses split up the forests. Something like that. Excellent. Deslecat, excellent suggestions. Thank you so much. Barbarossa, excellent question. I'm glad you stopped me before I wrapped up the episode. But now it is time to wrap up the episode of this Feedback Frenzy with Barbarossa Sparklebeard's map. So if you have any questions and would like to learn more about the world, follow the link in the description below. And also you can send me your content for a critique. You can a world building article or map or 1,500 words of fiction, and we can critique it on our next Feedback Frenzy. Thanks everyone. Have a great day and keep on writing.
Thanks for watching this Feedback Frenzy. Be sure to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. WriterGreg offers coaching sessions to help bring your world to life, create compelling stories, and accomplish your creative goals. Please visit wgc.bz/coaching for more details.